We've done it. We've cracked the code. Also, if you're wondering why my face cam is so low today, it's because something is watching. And it's not me. This little dude all the way up here. If I can point correctly. Hit. Hit. Right there. Also, if you're wondering what this box is right here, like a little higher hill. This one? This tin one? It was for a project that I had for being able to control this thing. And all it took was an Arduino Leonardo with no pins, nothing. Just the Leonardo. That's all I needed. And we were able to control this thing. And of course another software called XInputs and stuff like that, and all the installation on the Arduino itself and all that good stuff, along with an application called InputRedirection. InputRedirection allows you to hook up an Xbox 360 controller to your computer and control this thing. Only problem is, it's only Xbox. Only Xbox controls. You can't use PC or anything. So, that's where this Leonardo comes to play with XInput. This can simulate Xbox inputs and presses. Hi, Pretzel. You can probably hear his footprints. So, you'd think you'd be able to control this with just a normal controller. That's correct. Only Xbox. Unless you're using, like a PlayStation controller or something, then you'd need to use DS for Windows. You can't put keyboard and mouse on the input redirection. It's only Xbox and, of course, DS for Windows exclusive. Or, in other words, just controllers. So, I was thinking I'd use something like Joy to Key. That does not fucking work. It does not simulate Xbox inputs. I don't think. I've tried. Couldn't figure it out. So, it left me to get this Leonardo. And what it can do is simulate Xbox 360 inputs, send it to the input redirection, and send it to this. So now what am I able to do with all that? I can technically play the game with my keyboard. But more importantly, I can automate shiny hunts. Welcome to the project InputRedirected. Yep. This box up here, by the way, that tin box thing, foil, that was an old project. We had this in this box basically. Well, I mean, this box is basically a suppressor, if you think about it. And no, not on the end of a fucking gun. No, obviously. World's largest suppressor looking at us. No, not that at all. Hey, this is Hill Pony from the edit here. I was supposed to explain the silver tin box thing. I completely forgot to do that. Basically what it did was it covered up the whole entire project with all the servos and stuff, so it would suppress more of the servo noise more than anything. So while I'm playing my other games, it wouldn't be like servo noise in my ears. That was the whole point of the tin box. We were going to change the color of it with different tape, but instead we went with this kind of suppressive material underneath it, which you guys can't unfortunately see, but it helped suppress everything for audio when it came to the annoying servos pressing up and down constantly. Back to the video. We had an Arduino board. We made it with Legos. Legos? We had an Arduino board. Oh my god, it's gonna be a long video. We had a... Here, I'm also gonna adjust my camera down here so you guys can see me more than the box, because we don't really care about that information anymore. We had a bunch of wood pieces and stuff. At first it was all fiberglass, that plexiglass stuff, whatever, and we used that as the board, mainly because plexiglass doesn't really warp or anything, I guess, and it was a lot easier to work with. And so basically we have pictures, of course, still too, I think. I'll be showing them on screen, of course. So this would be on the desk, and then there'd be a bunch of servos being able to press these things all the buttons and stuff. And it was all being used by the servo with Arduino Uno. So I was able to do input presses on this, and I was able to use a photosensor, to detect light on the bottom screen to tell me how long the encounter was for the first battle. If it's more than an extra second, then of course there's a shiny. Simple as that. Only downside to it was, once again, servos kept popping off because we used hot glue, and that shit did not stay very well. So I'd press buttons and stuff like that normally. Like I said, the only downside to it would be the hot glue that we used to put the servos on the board, like the plexiglass board, kept popping off or didn't press very well, or it kept lifting. Like the whole board would lift because it's not heavy enough. Now, we had to put like weight and stuff like on it, like books and all that stuff, and maybe clamps. Yes, it would work, but sometimes it wouldn't. It was very finicky and wasn't very perfect. So we took a break from that project for probably a year, and then we came up with doing the same project again and just using boards this time, like wooden boards. Worked better, had more weight, and we used pen structure to be able to press the buttons on here. Hence, you can see there's ink on this. Yeah, fun stuff. So, once again, the two downsides would be ink all over my fucking buttons and inconsistency. So, to get it more consistent, I'd have to slide like cards underneath this, and so it could lift higher on one end than the other, and try to like cross my fingers that I got the right amount of leverage or lift or anything for this DS to be able to hit the servos. That was extremely annoying and was very inaccurate. Once again, I took about like a month or two break from just the project and just scrapped it. Until I found out that you could control the DS with an Arduino board. I knew about controlling the DS with XInput. No, not XInput. I knew you can control the DS with InputRedirection, which is, once again, a client that allows you to play on a modded 3DS with input redirection on here, which is built in with the Rosalina thing. Only downside is you have to use an Xbox controller or a PlayStation if you're using DualShock 4 and stuff for the DS4 Windows thing. No keyboard and mouse. If that was a thing, this would have been solved by the Uno itself. Would have been that simple. So, since the Uno cannot output Xbox 360 controls, it can output keyboard and mouse, but it can't output Xbox controls, which is stupid. I had to buy an Arduino Leonardo, which is more than capable of being able to put out Xbox 360 inputs and all that stuff, thanks to the application of XInputs for the libraries and software and all that stuff for the Arduino. Yeah. It's so stupid. All it is just Xbox presses. It should be simply done by software. I've looked everywhere for software on PC to see if I can emulate this or do something about it. It doesn't fucking exist. It doesn't seem to be. Unless I'm looking at all the wrong places. So thanks to me stumbling upon this information about the Leonardo and being able to use XInput to put it all on there, I ordered a board for it. And of course I have it. Right here, just in case you missed it. And the plan was I was gonna just, install the software, put it all together, get it all ready to go, and as well as use like a photosensor and maybe an LCD to tell me all the information. Here's where things became trial and error. Photosensor was not doing its job. The LCD wasn't able to display any information. It was just the loading screen of when you started up. It's just the top row was all white bars, and the bottom row was just blank. I don't think with the XInput stuff that I have on here, any of the actual physical stuff would work on it when you're using XInput. Which makes absolutely no fucking sense, unless I did something wrong. So, with the way XInput also works, I should explain this first before talking about the LCD and stuff. I was hoping I could just use the COM or the computer 6 or 7 or whatever port it is to tell me everything that I need, like shiny time, photosensor ID numbers, what phase we're on, and what count. That's all I needed. Unfortunately, with the way the XInput stuff works, it disconnects it after it's done. So I'm not able to access the computer for it, or a COM, or anything for it. So there is no information being able to give to me. Which is very frustrating because as a developer, or like trying to make an automated shiny hunt, it's very frustrating not being able to know what you got for numbers and instead have to fucking guess. That is a content creator or map maker's worst nightmare, is guessing. It's very inaccurate. It results to trial and error. And it's all based on luck too. It's bad. So we'll get to more of that information in a bit. I'm going to explain more about the LCD and all the other stuff. Okay, so once again, the COM doesn't export or allow any information to be spilled, so I can't use the computer. The second one is I tried using an LCD for it. Once again, I already told you guys that. It just basically shows the loading screen for it as if you just started up the Arduino, and it doesn't display any information. So I was like, let's try Plan C, which was going to be an 8-pin 7-segment display, or whatever that stuff is called. Like 8-digit 7-pin display, or whatever that shit is. Segment, whatever. Basically, you know those like scoreboards that you have like at football fields and it shows like 8 and then a dot? Yeah, those things, but 8 of them connected and it's like 5 pins. So, I tried that and it gave me random information. It just wasn't working. It was just spewing out random shit. Like, most of them being symbols that don't even exist, you know? Like, it's just like a 7 and then like a little underscore or something random. I don't know. It just wouldn't work. So, Plan C was over, and there was no other way of getting the console to spew out information. I was going to go with Plan D, which was to have another Arduino, which would be the Arduino Uno, to do all the math and remember everything, and track the Arduino Leonardo to check if everything's working. And if something were to happen, like, oh, is there a shiny on screen, or is there not? And then add a phase count, or whatever, you name it. Nope. I decided I don't think it was worth it. I couldn't figure out how to have Arduino pins detect a voltage of it being like... I don't need it to be like, hey, this is 5.3 volts. No. I just needed to detect if there's a fucking pulse. Like, is there an on or an off, or high or low? I couldn't figure that out because looking at Arduino scripts and learning from Arduino is the worst. There is no information. If there is, it's always random and just weird and unreadable half the time. It's just like, what the fuck am I reading? Not straight to the point, nothing. It's pain, suffering. It feels like this is a topic with lack of information. Anyways, out of the way with Arduino, which is one of the reasons why I give up on the Arduino in the first place, because motivation goes out the door when I don't have information. So I decided to go with Plan E, which is my final plan. Guess. And no, I'm not saying you guess. I'm saying guess. I had to basically make a script where it's always spamming A at certain times, and then have a delay, and then have it spam B certain times, and then the write down to trigger the cutscene, and just guess. That took about 30 minutes of trial and error, but now that I got it consistent, it's fine. So now, it can't be automatic. It is now a semi-automatic shiny hunt. What does that mean? That means I have to manually soft reset this 3DS, manually hit the reset button on my Arduino Leonardo, and hit the count button for my Arduino counter, or my auto hotkey counter, or death script, or counter, whatever, you name it. So we have 3 buttons to hit. Hey! At least it's way better than spamming the A button and B button for 2 minutes straight, and then rinse and repeating. Yeah. It may not be fully automatic, but at least it eliminates one big issue that I've always been having a fear of, and anyone would be just as nervous if they were doing an Arduino shiny hunt that they had no idea how to do, or an automated shiny hunt and they had no idea what they're fucking doing for making the board and stuff, is having a shiny appear and then it resetting or leaving the hunt or running because it didn't detect it properly, because you didn't have the numbers. That is scary. Now that is no longer an issue because I have to manually verify if there's a shiny or not. Software set the DS with just one button because I have my LNRs, rubber banded. So I hit that, hit the reset on my Arduino, and then I hit the reset on my, or not reset, I hit the number 1 button on my my D-pad, which I would love to show, but the cable's so short. And yeah, I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. I'm very happy that I've got this project pretty much cracked. And it's all thanks to XInput for making the script happen, and all the software and all that good stuff, along with our Arduino Leonardo being a thing. So thanks to the Arduino company and XInput to developers to make this happen. But it's also all thanks to input redirection. If input redirection wasn't a thing, I wouldn't be able to communicate with the DS in the first place. It would be nice if they had keyboard and mouse support, then I wouldn't need this Leonardo anymore. I could just use a different script or something. I could just use an Uno or something and just, and still be able to do the same exact thing I'm doing right now. So, by the end of the day, it's fine. I'm very happy this works, and I'm very happy that everything is solved and figured out. No more guessing, no more trial and error. And all that's left to do is just keep that shiny hunt rolling, make sure my internet stays on, because if the internet does dip, then it loses connection, because it's all connection based with internet and stuff. And a matter of time. And then I'll find the shiny. Looking forward to that. But I thought I would just make this long video. How long is this recording going for? 17 minutes? Fun stuff. I don't even know if I'm going to edit this that much. I'm probably going to. But all I just want to say is input redirection has been redirected. We've cracked the code. Not literally, but in another way. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Leave a like. Show us to your friends. And have a great day. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!